Q4003. Before beginning any flight under IFR, the pilot in command must become familiar with all available information concerning that flight, including A. All instrument approaches at the destination airport. B. An alternate airport and adequate takeoff and landing performance at the destination airport. C. The runway lengths at airports of intended use, and the aircraft's takeoff and landing data. The correct answer is C. According to the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, before beginning any flight under Instrument Flight Rules, IFR, the pilot in command must become familiar with all available information concerning that flight, including the runway lengths at airports of intended use, and the aircraft's takeoff and landing data, weather reports and forecasts, fuel requirements, and alternatives available if the planned flight cannot be completed. Any known traffic delays of which the pilot in command has been advised by ATC. The FAA has established these requirements to ensure that pilots are able to safely operate their aircraft in instrument meteorological conditions, IMC. When flying in IMC, pilots must be able to rely on their instruments to control the aircraft. This is because the weather conditions may be such that the pilot cannot see the ground or the horizon. 4033. Before beginning any flight under IFR, the pilot in command must become familiar with all available information concerning that flight. In addition, the pilot must A. List an alternate airport on the flight plan and become familiar with the instrument approaches to that airport. B. List an alternate airport on the flight plan and confirm adequate takeoff and landing performance at the destination airport. C. Be familiar with the runway lengths at airports of intended use and the alternatives available if the flight cannot be completed. The correct answer is C. Before starting a flight, each PIC is required to familiarize themselves with all relevant information. For an IFR flight or a flight that is not near an airport, this information must include 1. Weather forecasts and reports, fuel needs, backup plans in case the intended trip cannot be completed, and any known traffic delays about which the pilot has been informed by ATC. 2. Runway lengths at airports that will be used for any trip. 3. For civil aircraft, the takeoff and landing distance information specified in any authorized airplane or rotorcraft flight manual that is necessary. 4526. What is the floor of Class E airspace when designated in conjunction with an airway? A. 700 feet AGL. B. 1,200 feet AGL. C. 1,500 feet AGL. The correct answer is B. When a defined airway is present, the floor of Class E airspace is 1,200 feet above ground level. 4528. What is the floor of Class E airspace when designated in conjunction with an airport which has an approved IAP? A. 500 feet AGL. B. 700 feet AGL. C. 1,200 feet AGL. The correct answer is B. When assigned in conjunction with an airport that has an authorized instrument approach technique, the floor of Class E airspace is 700 feet AGL, assuming that Class E airspace has not been designated to the surface. 4530. What is the maximum altitude that Class G airspace will exist? Does not include airspace less than 1,500 feet AGL. A. 18,000 feet MSL. B. 14,500 feet MSL. C. 14,000 feet MSL. The correct answer is B. Class G airspace is the uncontrolled airspace not classified as Class A, B, C, D, or E airspace. It extends upward from the surface to 14,500 feet MSL, excluding the airspace less than 1,500 feet AGL.